Chargepoint stock price prediction. Okay guys, so here's another video about Chargepoint that is soon to become the publicly traded company under the SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Company, Switchback Energy. So I'm taking a look at the chart right now, and this stock has absolutely been crushed since I recently talked about it. It looks like there was a lot of resistance at $50 and the stock is completely sold off. So a lot of you guys that ended up buying at the top right now, maybe you're holding the shares and you're down. It looks like you're down, maybe like 25% or something like that. But for a lot of you guys who have been following my channel since I recommend the stock at around $13 to $14, you guys are already up big anyway. So if we take a look at the stock over the last 6 months, we can see the stock has been up a ton, and that, pullbacks are definitely healthy. So, we definitely don't want to see stocks just go straight up in a straight line, because usually there's some manipulation there, or there's some pump and dump scheme, or something's a little bit fishy. So what we want to see is we want to see stocks move up, and then we want to see a slight pullback, and that's more of a natural movement into the next leg up, and so on and so on. And that's exactly what I'm seeing with SBE, guys. So the really important date, the merger date, is in 10 days, and I think that there's going to be a lot of a good attention, positive attention for this company, since a lot of people are already using their charging network, and now they'll be able to kind of put two and two together and realize that they can buy into the publicly traded stock. So what I've been doing is I've basically been buying on dips. So I've been buying shares regularly on a weekly basis, but on dips I really come in and I pull the trigger and I really try to buy even more shares. So as you can see here, we had a nice Okay, so as you see here, we have a nice dip down here, and there's been a little bit of consolidation. So if we kind of take a look at that chart, we can see here that on the first trading day so far, the shares kind of sold off, and there's been a nice consolidation. So I've been watching the stock throughout the entire trading session, and it looks like that the buyers are definitely coming in. I was one of them. I ended up buying some shares at this price because I think that a lot of people were profit taking when the stock ran up to around $50. And also I noticed that the volume was down a ton, so a lot of people are moving on to some hotter stock plays. Of course, Tesla is doing really well, NEO's doing well, that biotech stock, BNGO, that everyone's going crazy over, that stock's volume is through the roof. So for me, this was an opportunity to just pick up some more shares at a cheaper price, since people were kind of ignoring the company. So as you can see here, ever since it was at that top around 50, the volume's trickled down to almost just 2 million shares a day. So it seems like a lot of the Robin Hooders and guys on Webull and things like that, they've basically forgotten about this company. But we know that in the next 10 days or maybe the next 2 weeks or so, there's going to be a huge catalyst. So what I've been doing here is I've been just, basically taking a long-term view on this company, not trying to get emotional, not trying to worry about the short-term movements in the stock price, because over the last 6 months the stock is up over 264%. So we're moving in the right direction here. And as you can see here, we're basically a top, and then a bottom, and then another top, and then a bottom and a top. But overall, each low is higher. So we're dealing with higher highs and higher lows. So as you can see here, the previous low back then was around 26, and then 33, and now we're looking at around 36 or something like that. But I don't really think the stock is going to dip that much lower right now. I think a lot of the profit taking has come back in, and the volume is so low that really the only people coming in to buy the stock are the people that are looking at it long term. So if you guys checked out some of my previous content, you know that I had a $3,000 price target for Chargepoint in the future. So for me, every share I purchase right now is basically like putting $3,000 into my pocket over the rest of this decade. So that's why I'm so just adamant about this company. It's basically a pure play on the growing EV industry. Chargepoint is definitely the most dominant player in the American market, and we know that China and America are the two probably most lucrative markets that are going to be in the future, since those are the two biggest economies with some of the biggest populations in the world. So now I want to give you guys a future price update. So like I said, if you bought here, I would really say it would be really a good idea to average down. Now, obviously, you want to do your own research, do your own diligence, guys. Remember, when you're investing money, you can lose money in the stock market. And I know some people that ended up buying at this peak, you're down maybe 20-25%, and you're kind of scratching your head, what's going on? Well, the important thing to remember is that this is a pure EV play. So this is not like a SPAC that is going to be introduced that doesn't have a lot of revenue, like Helion or Canoe or Nikola Motor, or any of these companies that are basically just shooting darts at a table. Chargepoint already has over $100 million in revenue. It's similar to DraftKings, how DraftKings kind of debuted with the SPAT stock and the stock shot through the roof. And then you had big players like Michael Jordan jump on the board, a special advisor to DraftKings. So it's the same thing with Chargepoint. Chargepoint CEO Pascal Romano, Harvard educated, graduate degree from MIT. Guy's really smart, and he's all over the internet promoting the whole merger, and not just the merger of ChargePoint, but just the the clean energy, renewable energy EV movement as well. So I'd say that this is a super long-term play. I would never think about selling any of my shares at this price. And when we see everything switch over to the merger, I think things are going to get a lot better, because if you just take a look at Switchback Energy Acquisition, SBE, the only people buying the stock right now are people like you and you guys watching the video, myself. This is definitely the early stages. So most investors will never buy SPATs. They don't really understand them. They just don't get it. So when you see stocks run up, you're looking at stocks like Tesla, you're looking at stocks like Amazon. Most of the run up was done way after the big money and the smart money was kind of into the stock. And then, the masses caught on and they saw that Tesla stock was going up, and then they jumped on board and things like that. So that's what I'm hoping that's going to happen with ChargePoint. Obviously, it's hard to predict exactly where the stock is going, but I'm hoping that you guys watching right now, you guys are kind of following the smart money. There's been a lot of smart investors. Kyle Bass is the first one that comes to name. He ended up getting a 10% stake in SBE way before the price ran up. I believe that was in November. So there's a lot of wealthy guys with their own money management firms. They're buying a lot of this stock, and I think that if you get in now, and then there kind of comes like once the merger happens and people start using ChargePoint, and then I've been reiterating this again and again, that this is a play where you're not really looking at all of the fundamentals, because we know the EV market is in the early innings, but you're looking at what people are using. So when people are going to be charging their vehicles in America, especially, they're going to be using ChargePoint, and then they're going to use the ChargePoint home flex charger. They're going to charge at ChargePoint stations, and they're going to realize how awesome the company is, and hopefully they will take a look at the stock market and purchase shares. So that's kind of what happened with Tesla. Tesla was, a small car company, and people started buying the products and realized how awesome the products were, and then they went to the stock market and bought the stock, and then that's kind of how things caught on. So I'm hoping that it's a similar thing with ChargePoint. A lot of people are using their services. Like I said before, they're the largest charging station network in the United States by a long margin, with over 70% market share, and people like using their products. If you guys check out a lot of their stuff, they're really big, especially in the United States. So maybe not so much in Europe, because Europe is more dominated by EV box. I also covered that SPAT merger in the past, but so that's what we're exactly looking for. We're just looking for a kind of widespread adoption, more awareness around the company, and a lot of that's going to happen after the merger, guys. So I would say right now that my short-term price target is, I think that the stock will recover after the merger, but right now it's definitely a buying opportunity. There's a lot of profit taking going on. I still think there's a lot of like I said, there's a lot of space for the stock to grow much higher in the future. Like I said, we're just sitting at around $36 with my $3,000 price target. I think there's a lot more room to run. So this is a great time to get in. I like buying on dips. I like buying when people are selling off their shares for reasons that have nothing to do with the company other than the stock prices run up a bit. And this is kind of a good time to come in and pick up some cheaper shares. So that's it until next time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash the thumbs up button and hit the red subscribe button to get more future updates on my videos. And be sure to check out my private Discord chat in the description below, and be sure to sign up for my daily stock watch newsletter. I send it out every Monday to Friday, the stocks that I'm watching for that day. So that's it until next time, guys. Take care.